Hello there and welcome to the SBR BTCC Legends Series, brought to you in association with BTCC Blueprints and Paul Welsh Groundwork and Construction. Let's take a look at the grid here for race number 1 in the final round. We've got Jake on pole from Ash, from Liam, Ben, Lewis, Chris, Sean, Adam, Rob, Nathan, Leon, Rob, Dean, Jeff, and at the rear, Andrew. Let's take a look at the highlights for race number 1 here at the Nürburgring. As we see and we wait for the lights, it looks like a failure on the lights facing us this time round, unfortunately, but the lights are on the other side and they go off now, and we're away. And it looks like a just restart there from Ash, who moves to the inside or the middle of the track straight away, and it looks like Ben's gonna take advantage, trying to go up the inside, and Liam round the outside as Jake goes and takes a commanding lead already into turn number 1. Ben now hot on the hills as Liam slots into 3rd place and Lewis in 4th place. Ash unfortunately going backwards here, but a blinding qualifying lap for him up into 2nd place, but he's just being nudged out left, right and centre here, unfortunately, by almost everyone. Rob sideways now with contact with Nathan as the rest of the field stream on through, looking for position, looking for any bit of tarmac that will give him a bit of a run, as Ben now sets his focus fully on Jake as they go round down towards the bottom end hairpin here at the Nürburgring. Sean out into the gravel with a little bit of contact there, I believe, with Ash, I think it was. That's going to give Nathan a run down the inside into the hairpin, into the braking zone, the 2 Nissans together. And sure enough, it looks like Nathan's going to take the position as Rob tries to go around the outside of the other Rob. These two back together again after the race last weekend at Blue Moon, which I must apologise, there was no commentary for. Muggins here forgot to turn the microphone on when recording highlights. But we go back to the action. We see Jake Hill here taking a commanding lead into back up to the Schumacher S's, and already trying to pull away and consolidate the championship nice and early. We got 3 wide a little bit further down with Ash, Sean and Nathan. Ash pulling away the 2 Nissans together, a nudge by Rob on Sean and a nudge by the other Rob on his teammate Nathan. Neither of them working to push each other into the position ahead, as we've now got 2 by 2 down the start finish straight. We've got Nathan next to Sean, and we've got the 2 Robs together side by side. The 2 black Nissans having the inside line. Nathan decides to tuck back in, get a bit of slipstream from Sean, but Rob Adams seems to take the advantage from Rob. It looks like Rob's actually running some red pandas there by the looks of it. We go on board with Ben as he tries to chase down Nathan, trying to keep the championship alive. Jake's not going to need a huge amount of points here to sew up the title, but it looks like Jake's just going to hold that lead over Ben, with Liam and Lewis just behind them. Adam in close contention as well in 5th place. As I say that, Lewis starts to go looking down the inside line of Liam. Liam also running some red panda decals by the looks of it. Maybe is this in support of Rob and the banning of chat from Rob at times throughout the past week for his love of pandas. And that looked like Ben there spinning. Let's have a look at the replay. He comes through the Schumacher S's, puts 2 wheels out onto the grass, and yes, sure enough, he is loose and off track, spinning himself out of contention. That's probably going to gift the championship now to Jake, as we see Liam and Lewis battling now for 2nd place in this race. Lewis looking, stalking, getting that slipstream all the way down the start finish straight into the very tight turn number 1. Trying to get a better run on through turn number 2, but he's going to sit there behind, as we see Ash and Nathan battling together. Nathan oddly off the pace this week, and sitting down in midfield. Usually we see him up the front battling away with Jake, as the 2 of them touch Ash and Nathan. Ash a little bit sideways, and it's going to give Rob Adams a chance to get in front of his teammate. It looks like he does, as we see Rob Scholler and Dean together as well. Pack of 5 now, all battling away for the midfield places. You can see Sean's actually pulled himself away from this battle, We've now got Rob Adams ahead of Ash, ahead of Nathan, ahead of Rob. Oh, Rob very late on the brakes, unfortunately trying to avoid everyone. He's just taken Ash out into the hairpin, unfortunately. Real bad luck for Ash there after a fantastic qualifying. And I'm sure Rob will be feeling very, very guilty as we see Ben recovering nicely, getting ahead of Leon there very, very quickly. Now up behind his brother. See if he can do anything about it as quick as he can as they go back up the hill towards the Schumacher S's. The two brothers and the two teammates. Ben goes diving towards the inside, and not a lot of fight there from Dean. Almost like he hands the position back, knowing that his teammate and brother is a lot quicker. As Ben goes and now starts to pull away that little bit from Dean already. And Leon fighting, looking for a chance maybe to grab an extra position. We go back to the battle for the second place, sorry. And Liam and Lewis there battling away still. Jake just about in the distance, just holding a nice gap to these two. Maybe got a little bit more speed in that car to pull away, but just conserving the tyres that little bit extra. As Liam and Lewis will continue to fight. Lewis looking every which way. He looks to go around the outside of Liam here as they start to go down towards the bottom hairpin. Unfortunately not able to do anything about it, so he sits back into the slipstream. He's not close enough in the brake to do anything in the braking zone this time round. If anything, he has lost out, it looks like there. We seem to have missed it, but it looks like Adam is now ahead of Lewis. Bump up the rear, so maybe there was a little touch or something like that into the gravel coming out the hairpin. But certainly Adam now ahead of Lewis, and Adam already setting his sights very, very quickly on Liam and that second place. They come up towards the Schumacher S's at the top of the hill again, braking hard. Adam having a look maybe towards the outside. Does he see that as a weakness area for Liam? But as I say that, we've swapped position. Oh no, we haven't. We've got Adam still ahead of Lewis. I thought we'd swap them back again there, but no, Adam is still battling away with Liam, and Lewis close behind in fourth place. Adam in that slipstream. He looks to the inside, he looks to the outside, filling the mirrors of Liam every which way. As Chris has a look down the inside of Lewis, and nudge on Adam ahead, but he can't get the move done on Lewis. It doesn't actually help Adam at all. If anything, pushes him a little bit closer to Liam. Going down into turn number 3 and 4, back onto the old circuit, the old layout of the Nürburgring before they put the little infield section in there just to extend the track length for the Grand Prix. Lewis a little bit wide there, coming down the hill as they head back down towards the hairpin at the bottom end of the circuit. And Chris now looks like he's got a bit of a run. He's trying to stick it to the inside. He switches back to the outside, and that's where Lewis is going to hold him. I don't think Chris is going to be able to do anything going around the outside there. No, he falls back into line as we see the two Nissans, Rob and Nathan, together battling away as they have been pretty much most of this race, but they seem to have dropped the other guys. Rob has dropped back a little bit, but it looks like Ben has now caught these two up as he recovers from his spin in the early laps. And Ben's going to try and get past him as quick as he can, see if he can get back up towards Sean and maybe grab another spot just before the end of this race. We will have to see. But in the meantime, we've got Rob coming under huge amounts of pressure there from Nathan. Nathan looking towards the inside for the Schumacher races, but thinks better of it. He can see Ben closing. He thinks, well, maybe we'll just try and push on that little bit more, keep Ben behind us. We go back to the battle for second place, and sure enough, we are still in the same line of 4 cars. That's Liam, from Adam, from Lewis, from Chris. Anyone's guess as to which way these four will finish. Jake seems to be extending his lead that little bit out front as Ben now dives towards the inside of Nathan, and he's up ahead of him. Sure enough, taking that position away. You must have used the slipstream, but Nathan's used that power of that Nissan superbly and takes a position away again around the outside of turn number 2. We go back to the battle for second, third, fourth and fifth, and we've got the two teammates again together, with Lewis looking all over the rear bumper of Adam. It's allowing Liam just that little bit of a chance to break away. They go back down into the hairpin. Lewis under a bit of pressure again from Chris on the outside. Lewis is actually now closer to Adam as they come out the hairpin back up the hill. As we see now Ben once again trying to get something ahead, or something over Nathan as they come up the hill into the far sweeping chicane. Ben looking every which way possible, a little bit loose if anything off the launch curb. Gives him a tighter line. We go back to the front end and the battle for second, up towards the centre S's yet again, as Adam's a little bit closer again to Liam under brakes, but Liam pulls away that little bit on the acceleration coming out of the S's. We come a little bit further round the lap and down towards the hairpin at the bottom of the track again. Sean's now actually catching Chris in the background there. Adam pulling towards the inside, making sure Lewis has to go around the outside. Oh, it almost looked like a strategic move there to allow Lewis back ahead of Adam. And maybe Lewis has preserved a bit of tyre life, and he's going to try and attack Liam now for second place, as Sean has called Chris for the battle for 5th place. Can Sean do anything about it? He's finally come to grips a little bit with that Nissan towards the end of this season, but he's going to harass now Chris, who unfortunately is going to be leaving us at the end of this round and the end of this season, with his wife expecting any day now, with their child. We just don't know any time. He might even have to shoot off during this round, but we'll obviously keep you posted. At the moment, his concentration is in the rearview mirror of Sean, but he does keep that position as we see the two Rockstar Subarus battling away together. Leon coming under a lot of pressure now from Andrew behind him as they jump over the curbs together. Still nothing between them, nothing to pick between them certainly, as Andrew's going to try and get these slipstream down the start finish straight. We go back to the battle for second place, and we've got Lewis obviously now in 3rd place, trying to go around the outside there of Liam. Not working that time. It's going to put him on the outside again for the next corner. Liam very, very wide there coming out of turn number 4. It's going to allow Lewis a chance to run hard at him. Anything he can do now coming towards the downhill section, as there's a bump up the rear. Oh no, something's happened to Liam. I don't know what's happened, but the hazards are on. Something's gone wrong. Oh no, he's taken Sean out as well. Don't know what happened there. We'll have to have a look at that later on, but something really went badly wrong for Liam, and in the process he's taken Sean out. So that's allowed Lewis into 2nd place, Adam into 3rd, Chris into 4th. Looks like Ben's now ahead of Nathan as well, as he tries to recover. He'll be pleased to have gained 2 positions there a little bit later on, but really feel for Liam. He was on for a good result there. As we see Jake now coming out of the final corner to take victory in race number 1. He mastered that one perfectly. Fantastic driving from Jake, and victory in race number 1. Anyone's guess who's going to be second, but it is Lewis from Adam, from Chris. Rob in 5th, and the recovering Ben, who clearly is very angry, swipes himself into the barrier after that mistake in race number 1, recovering well to finish higher up the field. Looks like Rob's spending a penalty there just across the line as the recovering Ash finishes as well. So Jake wins from Lewis, from Adam, then Chris, Rob, Ben and Nathan there in 7th place. Let's have a look at the lower end of the field, and we see Dean from Sean, from Leon, from Jeff, Ash, Rob, Liam and Andrew at the rear. Thank you very much for watching race number 1, and we'll see you soon for race 2.